morning, and welcome to the Orlando Real Estate Buzz. I'm Brendan Rendo with the Homes in Orlando team, and joined by our mortgage guru, Joseph Dion of Apley Home Loans, back from traveling the great world.
I wouldn't say traveling the world, like more or less 2 cities, 3 cities, tops. Not vacation, all work related, all good stuff though. I had a couple nice dinners.
All right. We'll let you go with that. Well, we're back. News was kind of flat this week, but really want to cover something and get a little more into the numbers than we had before. Of course, we had our jobless claims come out this morning, but we also had housing starts and permits information come out this morning. And the jobs number claims were pretty flat overall. I mean, not too high, not too low, just kind of flat. So didn't see, I don't think it's going to move the market one way or move the market another way overall, So that one just I think we'll just kind of push to the side there. But the numbers that came out this morning that were really interesting were the housing starts numbers. And they were not. And I can kind of understand when we see what builders are having to do right now to keep up the sales. But we are seasonally, the starts were down 3.8% over April. That's a pretty good drop.
Yeah.
But 9.5% over last year.
So 10% decline year over year.
Yeah. That's a lot of homes not being built when you hear everyone saying that we need more houses, we need more houses, we need more houses.
Yep.
So that's a big drop. And you're kind of looking at going, well, with interest rates where they are, if I'm a builder, I don't think I'm feeling real confident about a lot of things in the market, So you look at that, and what do we find? We find that the builder confidence isn't high at all. It's currently, this month it was a rating of 43. And what people don't understand, that rating, anything below 50, they're really feeling it's a depressed market overall. Yeah. So builders have very little confidence. This is an extremely low number. I don't think we've seen this in several years. And their chief economist came out and hit it right on the nose. Why are we seeing this lack of confidence? And it's something that we've looked at in the inflation numbers all year, in that we're sitting roughly at a 5.4% year over year increase in shelter inflation. That is nowhere near that 2%.
No, not at all.
And go ahead. And
it's costing them to build, right? But aren't they able to get that in the sale price?
Not anymore. This is actually pretty amazing. They found that 29% of the builders are cutting prices on their homes. And the average price cut is 6%. So if you got a $400,000 home currently listed, you're going to see about a $24,000 price cut on that home. But it's not only that, Joe. It's the incentives that they're offering. That's just the price cut portion of the purchase. What have we said all along has been keeping the home builders going? It's their incentives.
The rate buy-downs, they've been throwing massive amount of money to try to keep that sales price at a higher point.
Yep. But 61% of their properties have some type of incentive right now. And I'm seeing it all the time. They are trying to buy down the rates. They're trying to, 5-1 adjustable rate mortgages, even straight buy downs. They're buying down the interest rates roughly a percentage point for people. And when you look at that percentage point, on a $500,000 house, what do you say? Maybe $500-$600 a month in the payment, somewhere in that ballpark. That's significant. So if you're looking at a new house, or you're looking at a house 2, 3, 4 years old, in the general same area, which way are you going to go? I know which way I'm going.
Yep.
I'm going with the new house. So, I mean, it's amazing because every day with the email flyers, like I say, every Thursday, yep, Taylor Morrison came out. Yep, I got 10 new houses, quick move-ins. They're finished or they're going to be finished within the next month, and 25,000. Some of them were $50,000 price cuts.
True.
Toll Brothers last week in Lake Nona, I believe the one they had there was close to a $200,000 price cut. Originally listed at $2 million, and now is at 1.8.
That's a little drop. Drop in the bucket. You know what? Can you show me that house? Like, I think it's a good deal now.
Yeah.
You can get $100K in additional incentives.
Imagine the payment on that if you only put 5% down.
I don't know if there's a product that'll allow that, but if it's out there, I'll find it.
That's for sure. But I mean, you look at it, graphically, this is a chart of the new housing starts, and really since the peak in 2022, when rates were sitting, that 2.5-3%, we have had a steady decline in starts. I mean, it's consistent.
Well, we're coming off of, we had this like very slow start. 2010 upwards, it was kind of going and trending in the right direction. 2019 started to go, hey, are we going to see a flip? Have recovered, and that's kind of coincides with like where rates are, and you saw starts kind of massively jump up when rates were absolutely stupid low, right? And now we don't have that. But what is different? Prices are way higher. Affordability that's a big challenge right now.
Yeah, and it's the difficulty as a home builder is you're always working on projections. You're working a year out, year and a half out. Some of these big guys are working 2 to 3 years out. From the time they buy a piece of land to the time they can actually break ground and start development could actually take them 18 months to 2 years. They're kind of really working on a whim overall. Hey, I hope based if the market stays the way it is, we can do this. If it gets worse, we can do that. They got to sit there and do a little, roll the dice. Well, which way do we think the market's going to be in 2 years? Well, yeah, I think this way.
Yep.
I mean, they've been doing it for a long time, but I know, the home builder I work with, he builds about 30 homes a year. And, we were out looking at some lots last week, and all of a sudden where we couldn't find lots, they're all over the place. So we've decided we're going to cut our initial offer price probably from $45,000-$50,000 to $30,000 to $35,000, because the old rule of supply and demand. More supply, less demand. We're gonna take advantage of it overall.
Yep.
And then this is interesting because I wanted to get a little bit more into some numbers in Orlando, because we mentioned this about the delistings of homes, how it has increased.
And these are homes that are being put on the market but then not sold. So these are being withdrawn, expired,
temporarily off the market, and you can see it here. I mean, we've jumped to about 8.5% of all listings are now being delisted in some way, some format. So basically, people are just saying, the heck with even trying. I'm not getting the price I want. Not getting any offers. I'm just gonna take my home off the market, and I'm gonna stay where I'm at. So you're seeing this increase, and then in Orlando, we hit a milestone in Orlando that we haven't hit since 2016.
Is that a good thing? What happened?
Our inventory broke 10,000 units.
That's a bad thing.
No. Well, it depends on whose side of the fence you're on.
It's a bad. If you're a buyer, it's a great thing.
Well, seller, not so good. But here's the bad part. Half those homes in that inventory are $500,000 and above.
Yeah, but 500,000 isn't like it's a wait. Never mind. 500 is kind of a first-time home buyer price point now.
What?
I feel that way. Like 500. That you tell me 10 years ago you were like, I'm buying a $500,000 home. I'm like, dude, you're buying a mansion over there. Now
Yeah.
it's like $500,000 home. Okay, you're getting a 4.2, maybe a step up from a starter home.
Yes. Yeah. But I mean, and it's not slowing down. The inventory growth is actually not slowing down. I was doing a presentation for a seller who's looking.
Okay, like a
she's
listing
over in
presentation,
Kissimmee.
or like, hey, like here's where your house is, market. Like, what type of presentation? You trying to get that listing, or trying to tell her?
Trying to get an appointment to sit down and get her listing.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to get it, but trying to also be realistic on what the numbers are, because a lot of agents looking at it going, "Oh, I can sell it."
Okay, so we're trying to be realistic. So you were kind of saying like, "Hey, let's get rid of the rainbows and the pot of gold over at the end. You're gonna make money off of this, but it ain't gonna be like what you thought."
Exactly. Oh no, she didn't. She actually had it listed twice last year for roughly 260 days. Okay, roughly 260 days. And this is what it looks like in the subdivision right now. There's roughly 14 homes currently listed in that subdivision. Okay.
She on the back half of that subdivision. Can we be like, she's in phase 2? Like, we got some positive here. Phase 2.
Yep. So you're looking at this. It's like, wow, that's a lot of houses in one subdivision, and it's a second home vacation type subdivision.
Oh, okay.
This one kind of hurt overall. Let me show you days on market. This is Sonoma Resort at Tapestry. Beautiful community. Nice. Okay. Days on market, 239, 135, 298, 484 days.
Yeah. And you say this is like, so second home, vacation home type spot. Like, you say this because like people aren't buying a 10-bedroom, 8-bath house to live in.
No.
These are like your Airbnb. Everybody.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
High HOA.
HOA wasn't bad. HOA is not bad.
I was curious.
It's not as bad as some of the ones like Champions Gate.
Okay.
But you're looking at this and think about it. If I've got a $800,000 mortgage at, investment property back then, what, maybe 3.5%, something like that.
Like you got
4.5%. So our be what, maybe 45, 5, somewhere in that ballpark.
Sure.
Okay. Did you calculate how many days a month you have to rent this thing before you bought it? Probably not. Because there is such a saturation of Airbnb, short-term rental homes in that area, you've got a ton of competition. So what does it do? It drives the prices down. And with the slowdown in the economy, less people are, quite honestly, coming to Orlando. People aren't spending money like they used to spend money. So now, all of a sudden, you're 2 years into this house. She's had it literally for just over 2 years.
Yep. It was a great investment when she bought it because that's what everybody was doing.
And now she wants to dump it and she wants to make money on it. And I'm like, if you break even, be happy. Seriously, right now, be happy. Look at your competition. Look at how long these things are. Average days on market, 141. And that's just because there's been a couple new listings. You take out that one and we jump to about 180. That's, minimum 6 months on market for this house, minimum. And then you start looking at the numbers inside the community. And what are we seeing? The median sales price has dropped 7.23%. So
and I had to just search. I went to Airbnb real quick and I was like, I had to. 8+ bedroom, 6+ bath houses available, single family in the Orlando celebration area, right? So Disney, right?
Yeah.
285 available homes in 2 weeks from now for a week are available. For
really?
That much? Like 285, and that's 2 weeks from now.
This time of year, you booked.
Like,
yeah.
This is summertime. This is actually this is through the July 4th holiday.
Holy cow. Does it have like the average price?
I probably could find it, but I mean, they're not crazy. I'm talking $293 a night, $374, $260, $374, $360,
For a house that
$298,
big, that's actually,
$437. There are a couple big ones that are like $837, $833, $380. Like your bigger, the ones that are like really, really designed out. I mean, this one says it's $6,438 a night. That's pretty nice. Villa in Four Corners, 27-bedroom house though. But that's, there's availability. Like that's a lot of houses to be 2 weeks from now, 4th of July holiday around Disney, and to have that many opportunities.
Wow.
There's competition now.
Yeah. And they're still building. That's the thing that's killing me, is they're still building. Yeah. I mean, I know Disney is working on that. Was it $17 billion expansion for another park?
Yep.
But that's, my gosh, that's 5-6 years or more down the road before that's going to be completed. So, until this economy turns around, you're holding, there's a reason why we've got that many sales.
Yep.
In that community.
Yeah. You're talking
because
right.
People aren't making the money that they thought they were going to make on these short-term rentals.
You're like you said, you needed 4,000, right? Let's say it's 4,000 for the mortgage, principal and interest only for a house that you bought 2 years ago, right? Your insurance, your HOA, you're probably another $2,000 minimum. Your break is $6,000. Then you go into the fact that Airbnb's taking their cut and so forth, right? So you really probably need to rent out $7,500 just to break even, not even to make money. You might even be losing a little bit every month, that $7,500, which means if you're getting $500 a night, that's 15 nights that you need to rent out of the year.
Minimum of half the month, minimum to make a penny.
Which you probably do, but are you getting that in March? Or maybe spring break? You'll get it in March. How about February?
In October?
Not in October.
September? Most of November?
So I think when the market was screaming hot, a lot easier when everybody was traveling. But the COVID dollars are gone. People don't have a piggy bank that they were able to be like, to be like, let's go on vacation.
Yeah. Oh, hey, the Fed's going to send us some money. Let's go.
I want that to happen to me. Let's go, Fed. Send me money.
So, I mean, we are starting to really see the downward pressure on a lot of pricing in the Orlando area.
Yep.
And that second home market is getting pushed down. The condo market's already been pushed down.
Yep.
So what are we left with? We're left with the owner occupied properties. That inventory is surging. And we're going to start seeing those prices being pushed down.
Yep.
And like we talked a couple weeks ago, I think we can see a 10% decrease in pricing in Orlando very easily. Very easily overall. So let's hop into our numbers for the week. Sales really kind of flat, held at 456.
Okay.
Inventory increased another 100. This helped us get over that 10,000 home inventory mark. Okay. Of course, our condos just flat as all day, and their inventory continues to increase. Looking at our months of inventory total, we're sitting just about 3.5 roughly months of inventory. And then again, here's our higher end market, over 1 million, still sitting well above 6 months. And then you see the discounts. Overall original list to sales price, we're sitting about 95%.
Yep.
But I think it goes to show some of what we saw in those Kissimmee numbers is that the original list price starting has dropped. So that's tightened. Otherwise, I think that number becomes much bigger. And then graphically, it's just steady, flat, really kind of boring.
Kind of boring. Well, I mean, on the positive, there's been zero volatility in rates in the last week.
Oh, yeah. Did you look this morning?
We're neutral. It was the amount of movement that we saw happen to be like pretty much at where I started last week at.
Yeah.
We've had some wild moves over the day. But it is really interesting, and I say this like I'm stealing this segment right now from you, Brendan.
Be my guest.
The news cycle post, and I had one client in particular. They new build under contract. I locked them in like 45 days ago for a new build, and it was like, hey, market dropped. We got to take advantage of it. And they're like, oh, well, closing, we don't have this. I said, trust me, we got to take advantage of it. Like, it was so much better then than it is right now, that even with all the improvements, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing the news. They're talking about how great rates are. And I was like, still worse than where we were a month ago. And they're like, really? And I was like, we timed it perfectly. But I was like, and that's the hard part is you get the news cycle. The news cycle doesn't always portray, like, they're just getting clicks on like, hey, rates are here, or they're doing this, or rates drastically improve. And it's like, but from what? If they're way worse today than they were 2 weeks ago, but they're better than what they were yesterday, that's not really a news story. I guess it is.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
You're right. Is they're only posting that little bit, that tick, but they're not giving context behind it. And that's the hard part for a consumer is it's going to be really stressful for a consumer right now, because you see, it's hard to be like, I see this on the news, but then the professionals are telling me something different. And they're like, what do I believe here? And I was like, I always lean to like maybe the professionals, the one
every single day,
maybe that way. But I do get the stress that they're dealing with as well, because it's like, it's like if you're a loan officer or you're a realtor and everybody's saying, hey, home prices are going down, or they're stagnant, or they're this, or rates are going down, or they're going up, right? And then they're seeing the media saying something else, but that's kind of like, what happened? Everybody waited to sell their home because they were told rates are going to go down. Right? Yep. Home values are going to keep coming up. Rates are going to go down. Buyers waited, right? Buyers waited to buy a home because rates were coming down. And guess what? Rates didn't come down.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that, because there was Atlanta realtor who does a lot of stuff on Instagram. She had posted in January, 6 rate cuts this year, and I let her have it. And I laugh because I still get comments on that one. Oh, you were right. I guess you were right.
You screenshot it, you send it back, new post, tag her back in it. Be like,
it comes down to a lot of it. It's just common sense. And like you said, you get that one day headline with no context.
Yep.
That's why I love what we do every week, because you have to put it in context. What is really going on in the market? And it's amazing how it can shift. It shifts area to area, like second homes to condos, to primary home areas. I've got another one that's in Sanford, Sunland Estates, nice little community, older community.
Yeah, I know exactly where that is. He
bought it for $179, and it's probably worth about $320, $325 right now. But you know what if it's perfect for? If he wants to do it right away, is we got hometown heroes, and it's going to fit most everyone's income.
Yep.
Currently.
Yep.
And I was explaining to him, this may be a great time, because we got the hometown heroes. If we price it right, we may actually even get into a little bit of a bidding war on this thing. We may be able to drive the price up a little bit, and take and use those people's hometown heroes benefits to your advantage. And it just, and all of that's literally a 20-mile difference in houses. That's it. But that's how specific real estate is.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to pull and actually look at every little thing overall. It's not the nationally prices are up. Well, doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean crap.
Well, and the reality is like you said, like the biggest challenge that we're going to have right now in home buying and so forth and selling is a lot of people, especially on the selling side, is it's hard for them to be like, wait, I'm not getting whatever I want, because it was almost like before. You go back 2 years, it's like your house is worth 500. Well, let's list for 520. And then you got into a bidding war at 520, still appraised, right? Like now it's not quite going to be that way anymore, where it's like, okay, well, your house might be, okay, well, it's not 2022 anymore. Your house is worth 535. And they're like, oh my gosh, like I only made 3.5% in the last 6 months of equity. Like, they start going into these pieces where they start pausing and they've gotten so used to being like, okay, well, it almost doubled from 2020 to now. Like, and that's what I laugh. I've talked to some buddies that are selling their houses, and they're just like, I had one, he's in Texas, and he's selling his house for like an 85% gain.
Oh my gosh.
And he bought his house in 2020. Right. So he made, like, you're talking 85% gain. And I'm sitting here and he's upset because he was like, I just thought it was worth more. And I'm like, you bought a house, lived in it, and you're selling it 4 years later for 85% more than
percent increase per year.
And he's upset. This is what COVID 2020, 2021, 2022, this is what the market did to us. We are clearly in that instant gratification, but it's hard not to because it's like you can throw a quarter at the stock market and be like, hey, Nvidia, like, I'm going to make money, right? Like, so many things are so easy to make money right now that we've kind of changed this idea of what we should be able to achieve. And that's the hard part.
Yep. I agree with you. I agree with you totally. You know, I have the same conversations, and it just, you shake your head and it's like, here it is on paper. Here it is on paper. I'm not making it up.
That's what I appreciate. And I know it sounds silly. Like, a lot of times you and I kind of go back and forth, and I'm always just like, damn, Brendan, like, do we have to go this deep on this, or do we have to talk about this? And I've got buddies and friends in the industry that are like, Joe, like, maybe don't cover those things, but I'm kind of just like, why not? Like, because I'd rather like put it out there. People are going to find it, right? Like, somebody's going to, like, why not share what we're thinking about and having available, and just like, I still, do I think it's a good time to buy? I really don't think it's ever a bad time to buy, and not just because I'm in the industry, but historically things go up. Right. And if you can live in a home and not pay someone else's mortgage, and you're paying yours and building equity, and it goes up in value and you're decreasing your liability, like, these are all positive things that are going to help you build your net worth. Like, these are common sense economic basic practices that I think just make sense. And I, hey, interest rates are high. Great. Who cares? Right. Like, renting is higher, like, is even worse for you. Right. Like, no, there are certain times where, let me be real, like, yeah, we can go down that rabbit hole. Yeah. Okay, I'm done. I'm going to shut up now. It's 31 minutes. I'm sorry, Brendan. I took over.
It's like you said, it's stuff that has to be said. And I appreciate it, because that's all people want. Give it to me straight. That's it. Just give it to me straight. No puff, no blowing smoke, and that's what we try to do here with the guys, is bring it to you straight. That's all it is. It's not always, it's life. It's not always rosy.
Yep.
But like you said, there, as a buyer and as a seller, there are great opportunities out there. But it's just setting realistic goals. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. And as a buyer right now, when you've got this inventory this high, take advantage of it. You don't fall in love with a home.
Negotiate.
You don't. You negotiate. There's been a couple we've recently done. We had a simple condo, $137,000. It needed some work, so we came in. We took $9,000 off the price. They said no. I said okay. They're like, that's it? Like, yeah, that's it. We're a cash buyer. Nice cash, low cash buyer. Walked away. She's like, oh, shouldn't we go back? Shouldn't we counter? I'm like, no, we're going to keep our mouth shut. We are going to keep our mouth shut. Watch this. 2 days. Hello? Yeah. Well, are you still interested? Yes, we are. Will you do the $9,000? Can he give you a $9,000 credit? Yeah. He wants to write it this way. He doesn't want to do it this way. That's fine. It all comes out the same. So we got it. We actually paid for the replumbing and a new AC unit out of it.
There you go.
For keeping your mouth shut. That's the old adage of he who speaks first in negotiation loses is so right. Some days it's so hard to sit on your hands and keep your mouth shut. I'm in the middle of one right now. I expected the contract back, but the agent was trying to negotiate her commission. I'm like, no, it's what it is, the MLS.
Mhm.
So we agreed to what the seller wanted, but we didn't agree to what she wanted for her commission. Not going to do it. Have I called her? Nope. Am I going to call her? Nope. It's there. It's signed. It's ready to go. You explain to your client that because you didn't get that extra 0.5%, that you killed their deal. You do that. Have a good day. It's just, there's so, I see so many opportunities out there. When I start seeing houses sitting 180 days on the market, I'm like, let's go beat the shit out of them. I mean, I don't mean to put it that way, but my eyes get big and it's like, oh, we're going to have fun with this one. But thank you, everyone. I know we're running a little long today, but that was I got to get my 2 minutes in there, Joe.
There you go. We had to break it down.
Everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us. As always, please like, subscribe, and join us next Thursday for the Orlando Real Estate Buzz. Take care. Bye.